Welcome to It's in the Details. My name is Damian Waith, and as always, please remember to share, like, subscribe, rate, review, comment wherever you get the show. A little bit later, we're getting into the finale, the second half of Joe versus Carole. Some things happened in F1 again that really didn't have anything to do with the race that I just have to shout out. But first, Better Call Saul. We haven't talked about Better Call Saul here on the show yet. Breaking Bad fan for sure. I enjoyed all of it. I enjoyed El Camino, the little sequel, like short movie. It wasn't that short, but the little movie that Netflix released. I heard some people weren't really feeling that. And then Better Call Saul. Now, the whole franchise, Breaking Bad, El Camino, and then into Better Call Saul. First of all, as I said, I enjoy it. It's such an art piece, all of it. I think it was 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, El Camino, and then into Breaking Saul. There's such artistic ventures that these people have entered into. What do I mean? These aren't the types of shows that if 24 is your jam, like if you really get down with a ticking clock and 73 different things are going to happen in this 1 hour of television, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, that El Camino movie, none of those are for you. But if you're down for a bit of a grind, you know what I mean? Like, there were parts of, let's say, Game of Thrones, where you had 3, 4, 5 episodes where they were moving the storyline along a little bit, but they weren't hitting you over the head with action and riveting backstabbing, not every week, right? Now, Better Call Saul, I mean, this is the 5th season, I believe. You'd be lucky if you get some good backstabbing and some real action and things like that every 3, 4 episodes. You'd be lucky. This final season, which is not finished, I was racing through it. I was a few episodes behind. I'm racing through it to catch up and get to the end. And then I realized that's not happening. Okay? They do a little hiatus in the middle. I'll get to that later. But I think they gave us 6 or 7 episodes in this first half of the final season. And the word that kept coming up to my mind was deliberate. It was just such a deliberate pace to the show where this is one of those shows where if you got your hands on the script, you get a chance to read the script. It might be 3 or 4 pages for 45 minutes of television. It might be 3 or 4 pages, honestly. And I'm not, while I have nothing but respect for all of the actors in Better Call Saul, I'm not sure I need to watch all of them, like get dressed in the morning. I'm talking get out of bed, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, shave, take a shower, go get dressed, put some aftershave, like all the stuff. I'm not sure all of them, all of the actors in it are so good that we need to do that with them. And this is not a montage, okay? When I tell you about a montage, someone getting ready in the morning, you get out of bed. You get the feet coming out from under the covers, hitting the floor, in the slippers, and into the bathroom right away. No. Better Call Saul gets you visions of these people rolling around in bed when they're up, pulling one sheet off and then another sheet. One foot comes out, then the other foot. They are very deliberate with the pacing. You're watching everything. And I'm just not sure they're all so good at that stuff that we need to be watching them do it. But This is how they want to tell their story. And they do that for so many episodes. There are two different characters, and I don't want to spoil anything. There are two different characters in this show, in this season, that are by themselves. They bump into people here and there, but they are by themselves. They're on a voyage. And we just watch them be by themselves for minutes and minutes and minutes of the show. Like, not talking to anybody, not really doing anything interesting. That doesn't seem fair, but it's just moving. They're just moving around, you know? I mean, I don't want to talk bad of the show. I like the show, but move it along a little bit, please. Please. That said, plot-wise, I believe this first half is only 6, 7, maybe 8 episodes. I know there's 6 episodes coming to really finish up the series. So the slow burn definitely led to some things. I'll say that. It definitely led to some things. And what I'll say, and I'm trying to figure out if I can say this without spoiling it, but all that waiting around they make us do throughout the whole first bit of this final season, it leads to 2 of the most gut-wrenching deaths maybe that I've ever seen on television. Not that they're overly gruesome, and they're gruesome, but it's not that they're overly gruesome, but it's just a couple characters, and you don't know how I feel. So I'm not really spoiling it, but it's just a couple of characters you don't want to see go out like that. You know, you just don't want to see them go out like that, and they take them. They take them away from us. Now, it's a prequel, okay? So this happens, I believe it starts out 6 years before Walter White and Jesse Pinkman hit the scene on Breaking Bad, okay? So if you're looking at some people on the show in Better Call Saul and you don't recognize them from Breaking Bad, chances are either they got out the game for some reason, right? I mean, who knows? Maybe they hit it rich. I haven't finished the series. Maybe they hit it rich and they just bounce. They move to an island and get away from all the criminals and the crime. Or they get got, you know? They get got. And so be it, really. But 2 people, man. They take 2 people from us in this show. And you're just like, really? Really? And really, yes, actually they did need to take them to round out other characters and give them impetus to do things and stuff like that. But painful and shocking. Painful. It's a good show, though. The script is wonderful. The photography is wonderful. The music is wonderful and menacing. When they drop out the music and the score, while I am here complaining that I'm not so certain that all of the actors can carry all of this, being filmed just doing the mundane things of life. Man, when they're letting you watch someone do the mundane things of life, it is wonderful to hear it. I'll say that. It is wonderful to hear it. Jimmy McGill / Saul Goodman and Kim Wexler, they got an aquarium. I love hearing that aquarium in the background when stuff's going on in their house. I love it. There's a lot of cowboy boots, you know. They're in, I believe it's Albuquerque the show takes place in. So there's a lot of boots. You hear a lot of boots on the ground. That's fun to hear, right? But man, it is slow. It is really slow. And then just the final piece, the final piece. There is nothing that indicates this show is taking place on a portion of television and entertainment that is so old and passe than having a mid-season hiatus. There's maybe a couple young people watching or listening to this right now, and they're thinking, what the hell is a mid-season hiatus? I watch TV on Netflix. You know what Netflix doesn't have? Mid-season hiatuses. Doesn't happen. So when I was watching the end of Better Call Saul, and Chris Hardwick's face comes on my television screen because he's doing Talk Saul or Talkin' Saul or something. I don't know what the little extra side show is that he does is called. But he's talking about Better Call Saul with some people and some actors. When he came on my screen and said there's 6 episodes left and this is the mid-season hiatus, I said, what? Give me the show, man. What are we doing? Give me this. Have you filmed it? Have they filmed it? Did they edit it? Put it out now. What are we hiatusing for? Is it for the summer break? Are you bringing back the last 6 episodes in September? I haven't checked it out, obviously. I haven't looked. But give me the show, man. I got stuff to do. I got other things to watch. Let me see the show. Jeez. You think Stranger Things got a mid-season hiatus? It might. I haven't watched Stranger Things yet. I don't know for sure that they don't have a mid-season hiatus, but I can't imagine why they would. They don't even have commercials. Okay? So, but listen, people, if you haven't watched Better Call Saul yet, make sure you've seen Breaking Bad first. Then go see Better Call Saul. And just a little tidbit. This is a minor spoiler, but like I just talked about the prequel situation of this. I've heard Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, Walter White, and Jesse Pinkman are going to be making an appearance towards the end of Better Call Saul. It makes perfect sense to me. They keep dropping these little Easter eggs of things that were happening or places that were in Breaking Bad, and I can't wait to see how they're going to unleash Walter White and Jesse Pinkman on us. But it's exciting. Better Call Saul. It's slow, but it's good. I promise you it's good. So I finished Joe versus Carole. It's weird to be as excited about that as I am, considering we already knew what happened, right? But the little pieces that they filled out this little dramedy, I guess you could call it, with are so tasty. For one, Carole Baskin is ruthless, as portrayed in the show, but it seems in real life she's ruthless. She's a very cunning businesswoman. I don't know how much attention she has paid to some other businesses who have done all they can do to monopolize their industry. But I kind of get the feeling that she does that under the guise of, this is best for the cats. This is best for the animals. We got to get these other zoos up out of here because they don't treat the animals very well. And we do. They even mentioned that they're giving some of their tigers laser treatments. They didn't say what for, but laser treatments. And it's because, you got the money, right? You're not paying staff, and you're trying to be the zoo sanctuary that is taking care of the animals. So you buy some lasers, and you get to tell people, we got lasers that help keep these animals healthy and safe, So you do that. But she got people down and almost out, and she just put the foots on them, man. Just give them the boots. Just making sure you get all the way down and out. She does not play. Don't run on Carole Baskin's bad side. I tell you that for sure. Another little interesting thing, they did a piece on Carol's wedding with Howard, the current husband, the husband you see in Tiger King. And I can't remember from Tiger King if they had any pictures of this, but in the show, their wedding, Carol's waiting around with everybody, and she's nervous that Howard's not going to show up to the wedding. She's nervous he's got the cold feet. And as I mentioned last week, Howard loves this woman. He's doting on this woman. He does anything for her. He subtly tries to let her know when she's pushing a little bit too hard on some of these legal cases and things, but he backs his woman, okay? This man in the show, this man showed up to their wedding in animal print loincloth, okay? Animal print loincloth. So she thought he got cold feet because he became aware that she might be a little much to handle, let's say. A little much to handle. And he showed up saying, everything you got to handle, I want to handle. And here's the proof. Showing up in animal print loincloth to the wedding. Then they did these photo shoots because he came with a little like Flintstone style bat with his loincloths. And him and Carole did a photo shoot where they're beating on each other in jest with the bat and doing all sorts of crazy poses. These people, the show, and I didn't even consider that I was watching Kate McKinnon and Kyle MacLachlan doing that scene. I got divorced from the fact that it was the two of them. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's making me laugh even more at this ridiculous scene. If you cared at all about Tiger King, you got to track these people down. You got to track this show, Joe versus Carole, down. You got to. You have to. And then the final piece, and maybe the best piece of casting, and that's to say Kate McKinnon, amazing as Carole Baskin. Kyle MacLachlan as Howard, her husband, amazing. John Cameron Mitchell as Joe Exotic. I think I screwed his name up last week. I got it right this week. Amazing. All of them. The casting, wonderful. I enjoyed it all. But the best piece of casting, Jeff Lowe. I don't know if you remember Jeff Lowe from Tiger King, but Jeff Lowe is the dude who showed up with the 19-year-old girlfriend and nothing but gray hairs in his beard. Hat, do-rag, leather jacket, all of that stuff. And he showed up. Joe Exotic was hurting for some money. I think Jeff Lowe put an infusion of cash and bought the zoo out from underneath Joe, and Joe thought they were partners. And just kind of an unsavory individual. He's also the man who brought in the dude that Joe Exotic ended up hiring to kill Carole Baskin. Just an unseemly type of dude, Jeff Lowe. Okay? The brilliant piece of casting they used to fill that role was Dean Winters. Now, I don't know how many people are going to recognize that name. Let me fill you in. Dean Winters plays the Allstate guy. The Allstate commercials, the insurance commercials, where there's the dude and he's falling through people's houses and he's getting run over by cars on purpose and he's doing all sorts of reckless behavior all over the streets, letting everybody know they need Allstate insurance. He also plays a guy named Dennis Duffy on 30 Rock, who was just a useless individual, just screwing things up periodically when he shows up. And then the most recent and maybe most heinous of all of the things he does is he plays the vulture on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The man's nickname is the Vulture, okay? The Vulture. Vultures who come in and clean off carcasses from from kills that other animals risk their lives to get. The Vulture, right? He plays a sergeant, I think, who comes in from another department, and anytime a case is almost finished, the Vulture shows up and gets all the credit for it. You couldn't find a better actor to play Jeff Lowe than Dean Winters. And that's no shade to Dean Winters. There's nothing but respect for your ability to play all these terrible dudes all over TV. Congratulations. Good job. Joe versus Carole is very entertaining. Go get it if you can. Finally, F1 happened. It was in Azerbaijan. They raced. Some things happened. Some things didn't happen. I think Max won the race. This is not what we're here for today, okay? Fine. Mercedes had a nice result. Fine. Okay? What I'm here to talk to you about today is the race is called the Baku Grand Prix. I didn't know, I've seen the race a couple times already. I did not know what to expect from this place. I don't believe I've ever heard of Azerbaijan before I started paying attention to F1. And the track, the layout of the track is beautiful. It seems like the city is absolutely beautiful. It seems to be in a stunning part of the world. The track is only minutes away from the water. The water is stunningly blue and beautiful. The architecture, when they fly across in the helicopter, the architecture we get of Azerbaijan is wonderful, stunning, thrillingly beautiful. Okay? And it had me thinking, shoot, I'm going to have to go to Azerbaijan one day, right? I'm probably going to have to do that. It might not even be for the race. I just got to go check out this beautiful city. And then I looked it up on a map, and I found out that it's right in and amongst Russia and Ukraine. So I won't be going soon. That's for sure. I won't be going soon. But who knows, when everything cools down, maybe we'll get out there and have a look, right? Maybe we'll do that. And then just before the race starts, as they do in every city they go to, it's time for the national anthem of Azerbaijan. And they got about 10 or 12 people out ready to sing. They got a portion of the flag right here, and they got a portion of the flag right here. And in the middle, we got all the singers, okay? And through the front row, we got all women, and in the back row, we got all dudes. And these are some of the tiniest ladies I've ever seen in my life in the front row. They had to all be about 5'2". Just seeing a collection of ladies that short all at once together is a bit stunning. You just, wow, them some tiny ladies. But anyway, they got the ladies wearing dresses that fill in the gap between the two portions of the flag on either side of them. Okay? I did not notice until I watched it back a second time. But the lady on the far left, they got a white flag deal, and it's actually not the flag. It's almost like a logo of the flag. The flag is like a blue, green, and red, and it's got something in the middle. And what I'm describing, there's a lot of white on it, right? And these ladies in the middle, they got white dresses on, and then they got the colors. The blue, red, and green is moving from the panel through the ladies, and it's actually the lady on the left, the colors start down at her ankles. And then the lady in the next to her, it's about her thighs. And then the next lady, it's about her stomach. And then the next lady, it's her chest. And then the next lady is across her shoulders. It was really quite a production that they had going on with the flag, right? But then the music starts. And the music, I should say the rendition of the Azerbaijan national anthem that they played for us at the 2022 Baku Grand Prix for F1 was a banger. Okay? A banger. This was maybe the best national anthem song I've ever heard in my whole life. It was amazing. And now I say it's a rendition. I tried to track down some other versions of the Azerbaijan national anthem, and they're a little more menacing. They're a little more like what some different parts of the world have as national anthems, which sound like, hey, we're rolling up on you and we're about to take your territory. That's what some other national anthems start or sound like when they're going off. The version we got on race day was a banger. So it's going on for about 30 seconds, and I'm watching it. I'm not just listening, I'm watching it. And I'm nodding my head. I'm dancing a little. I'm like, yo, this song is a banger, boy. And then they start panning all the people through all the people on the track, and anyone from Azerbaijan that the camera hits is singing the national anthem. Not because the camera hit them. They were already singing it like, yo, this is my jam. This is my number one song, the Azerbaijan national anthem. They're all singing it, okay? And I'm like, well, they're from there, you know? They're from there. Maybe it's like the Pledge of Allegiance in the United States. You don't have a choice. You're a kid, you're a school kid, you're at school, you have to say the Pledge of Allegiance. So maybe all these kids and people had to sing the national anthem. You can't just stand there silently, right? Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, maybe the song's not as good as I thought it was, right? Maybe. And then the cameras continue to pan, and then they pan past the drivers. And I'm looking at some of the drivers, and they go by Lewis, and Lewis kind of has a look on his face, and I admit I'm projecting. Lewis kind of has a look on his face like, I want to dance to this song, but it would be disrespectful to start dancing to somebody's national anthem. You know, people take this seriously, right? But that's how I felt about Lewis. And then the camera continues to pan, y'all, and it gets to Danny Rick. And Daniel Ricciardo is in the back row dancing harder than me in my own house. And that's when I knew this is a banger of a national anthem. That's when I knew. And then I said, okay, listen, you can't get there anytime soon. Let's just have a look at what the government, the Canadian government, says about traveling to Azerbaijan. And the first thing that comes up is, do not travel to this spot from Canada unless you've got essential travel needs to go to this place. And I was like, damn, that's harsh. Y'all, that's harsh. It's a beautiful city. I've heard the people are very nice. Their anthem is bonkers. It's amazing. I was like, that's harsh. And then I keep scrolling, and they're like, well, we've got COVID concerns. I was like, okay, fine. I hear you. But how concerning? I mean, the stands are full. What do you mean? They're like, we got COVID concerns. And then they said, if you're out in some of the tourist areas, they like to mug tourists. And that made me sad. That made me real sad, y'all, because I don't like getting mugged. I don't want to get mugged. And they didn't say they're mugging people. There's like muggings in those neighborhoods. They said they mugging tourists. And I've only seen the wonderful people of Azerbaijan a few years now because I've been watching F1 recently. And I'll tell you this, I look like a tourist. So, I guess I'm just going to have to learn the national anthem and sing it from home when I get to see these beautiful pictures of this wonderful land my own government does not want me to visit. This is kind of a sad way to end this, but that is what it is. I implore you to YouTube 2022 F1 Azerbaijan Grand Prix National Anthem and lift your spirits from the sad stuff I just said after all the good stuff I just said. You know what I'm saying? I'm figuring out a way. I'm going at some point. I'm going because it's too beautiful not to see. And I'm going to be very nice, and I'm going to change. Maybe you can't change the feelings. Maybe maybe it's just a couple bad apples. Sometimes they say that about places. Just a couple bad apples. But anyway, thank you for joining me here on It's in the Details. As always, please remember to share, like, subscribe, rate, review, comment, wherever you get the show. I'll see y'all in a week. Take care. Peace.